So welcome officially to the first Wine and Dine in Divine Company. And very, very nice to meet you. And nice to meet the two of you guys. I think you're the three newbies. I had 3 or 4 people text and say that they can't come for one reason or another. Sick dog, sick sister. So we'll see if there's a few more stragglers in. There may be. But I'm grateful that you guys are here. The goal is to have the Wine Bistro be more of a once a month thing and have people come and enjoy the food and wine and share the teachings and have messages. And actually it was started off by a woman who came over from the bistro and had a 15-minute session with me before everything started. So that was kind of fun. And thank you, John, for being here. John is videographer. Is that what you are? Yeah. Yeah. And so everybody, if you do not want to be on video, you can tell him and he can edit you out. But it's fun for me to have them on video because what happens is then I can sell them and people that aren't at the event can see and hear and receive the benefit of what was said while I was doing everything and while you guys were interacting. So every time that there's a group that comes together, it's different. It's a different energy and there's always a reason and a purpose for those who are here to be here. And what I know to be true and part of what the teachings are is that in every split second of every moment, you have the ability to interact in a way that allows you to become more present and open your heart. So a lot of you, well, I guess not all of you, half, know what I teach and how I share. Although this is a little bit different because we are going to give messages. So I'm going to share messages that are done a little bit differently than when Electra and Friends is in. And a lot of ancestors, a lot of lineage comes through, and things that allow for your emotional space to be a little bit more clear than it was before, which of course allows you, it goes hand in hand with being able to be present, accepting other parts of yourself that you maybe don't even realize you've been stuffing, and allowing you to be more present in your moment. So your past and your future exist in the moment. They exist in the now. They exist in your point of power, which is literally your physical body, your human beingness, and your spirit in human form. And many of us have lived thousands and thousands of lives on this planet and off planet. And so what happens is we have this accumulation of energy that walks forward with us. People think that things sometimes aren't exactly what they would like them to be. They'd like to have it be different. Why can't this be different? And when you're doing that, what you're saying is that what is occurring isn't what you want, isn't part of you. And what I'm here to tell you is that if it's in your life, it is part of you, and it's there for a reason, and it's your opportunity to really own it and to love it. And furthermore, not only that, to own it and to love it, but to learn how to communicate with it, not just from your mouth and not just hearing it from your intuition, but literally learning how to use the physical world as a form of communication. The world communicates with you on a daily basis. Your energy, as you walk into a space, I'm walking over to you right now, and your energy field is large, and my energy field is large, and now we're even more coalesced than we were before. So when I stand in your energy field, I'm already starting to feel energy flow through me because they know that I'm here to share with you. Mm-hmm. I interpret your energy field. You have the ability to do that everywhere you go at any moment in time. So you can communicate by interacting with the physical world. You can communicate by feeling what's going on in your physical body. You can communicate through tasting what's going on with your taste buds, by smelling, by feeling the organs, the different parts of your body, by hearing, by knowing, all of the clairs, clairsentient, clairaudient, clairvoyant, blah, blah, blah. But also the gustatory, the olfactory, and your physical world, which most people forget to tell people. They forget to let you know that, that person coming into your life is happening because your energy field is interacting with you in a way that allows for you to have that message come back to you. So when people used to go to, or still do, go to a psychic, they would go and ask for future messages. And what I'm here to share with you is that there's messages constantly coming, there's interaction constantly coming, and you have the ability to interact with it all the time. You don't need to go to someone else to get the answers. It's a little bit different from what I'm doing, because I'm standing here sharing with you how you can do it yourself, how you can be empowered from it. And so then when I share with you, other than teaching one-on-one what I'm doing right now, you'll actually be hearing what's in your energy field through me. Okay. So it's like you talking back to you. Furthermore, some of the things that you'll say or that you'll answer, because it's always very interactive, will be things that possibly you haven't heard before, you didn't know that you thought, or a part of yourself will come up and you'll hear it. For example, the woman who came over prior from the restaurant, she said a few things and didn't realize that they were even existing in her present moment. She didn't realize that that was a part of her that was running, that was active. So that's the purpose of the present moment. Practice of presence is very, very important. It's a huge part of your life. And when you get it conceptually, doesn't necessarily mean that you're integrating it and physically doing it. And that is shown to me every day, time after time after time after time. I can stand and share like what I just shared with you, and you can sit down with me and you'll ask me something that is the complete opposite of what I just shared with you. And we all do it. I still do it. The difference is when you become the observer, you start to catch it and you start to make the changes and shift it. So, may I come to you for a second?
Sure.
Okay, I'm going to walk back over here, because immediately when I step in, and I'm going to go ahead and sit down instead of having you stand, because you have your food right there. You have a grandmother energy, sort of the Mother Mary archetype, the very full-blown love. Tears come to my eyes when I'm existing in your energy field because of the compassion that you have for others. Your ability to share that compassion, you're just starting to step into it, because you're getting out of your own way. There are a few things in your own personal life that you're learning to love yourself first before you can share compassion with others. But the energy that walks with you, that you are part of, is here to make a big statement. I don't know if you work with children or not work with children, but it would be a very significant place for you to be.
Okay.
Again, the tears just want to come. I don't know what you do for a living, but my heart is sensing, your heart is just wide open. So your ability to be able to function in the most effective way for you would be to step into your empowerment. And that message just hugely wants to come again. This is an energy that it really feels like a grandmother energy, and it's beyond just the Mother Mary energy. It's like a grandmother energy that's possibly 2 to 3 generations back. I'm just not sure if it's 2 generations back from you or your mom. It's 2 or 3 generations back, and it's definitely on your mom's side, and it's a grandmother energy, so it'd be a great, great, or a great. But it's an ancestral energy and a gift that's given to you, through you, and it also trails all the way back to sort of the Egyptian energy and the Sphinx and the cats and that goddess, a very, very empowered goddess, but with a very compassionate heart. So it's quite different, actually, than what it used to be.
Okay.
And that's what you came here to do. You came here to open gateways for others to walk behind you, almost like the Pied Piper. I'm being shown as like you don't have to do anything except just be graceful. You're graceful, and you walk. And this whole group of, I see children, and that could be adults with their child self, but I literally see children that walk with you. Do you have any questions?
Not right now.
No? Do you work with kids at all?
I do not. No.
Have you ever thought about it?
No.
No? No desire at all? Well, I don't know what that is. It'll be interesting to unfold, because it's very clear. Like I literally see them in a pyramid that's laid flat, walking behind you.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, your heart is really open, and the work that you're doing now is assisting in you opening your heart, but it's not where you're going to stop.
Okay.
So thank you.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Aw.
Yeah. So, and I'm going to come over here right now, if that's all right. Okay. When I first met you, you had me heating up hugely right now, sort of like an oven. Whatever your relationship is with your father makes my solar plexus squeeze just a little bit. And I don't know if he's here or there. I hear from this side and that side. He feels to be here. Whatever that relationship is to your benefit to come clear with you. They wanted kind of to say come clean, but it's more about becoming clear with you and your ability to end the old pattern of not repeating what was done, but knowing that what was done and how it was done. Sort of the communication part was a platform for you to shift. Does that make sense for you? Do you keep in touch with him?
Yeah.
Okay. However he communicates with you, it would be to your benefit to accept and love and learn the things that didn't work and create some things that would work more effectively and efficiently. Because your ability to communicate actually opens the doorway for your foot to step down onto the next place. Whatever you're doing in your career right now is really useful for you. And it allows for your energy being to unfold a little bit more. Again, and that's making my solar plexus squeeze. There's change, lots of change going on for you, with you right now. And that's kind of bridging back to you. You're a really great support system for him. And tell me your name again?
Dane.
Dane, yeah. Huge, really wonderful support system, and standing back from it. So you're supportive, but you're not like this, which is wonderful. And the father relationship is really important. I just can't impress upon that enough to you, that to shift and change the communication, the pattern of communication and the form in which you choose to communicate to others is to be a little bit different. Up to you whether you choose to do that, but that's the message. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Okay, good. Well, we're good. That was easy.
It made great sense to me, Susan.
Did it? Good, good. Good, good, good. Yeah.
Of course, know his father.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's a big piece. The communication piece is a big piece, because what happens, can I share just a couple more things? What happens is if you're not communicating clearly, the old patterns stay stagnant. See, even talking about it kind of got stuck in my throat a little. They stay stagnant in your energy field. And when it stays stagnant in your energy field, just make my solar plexus squeeze a little bit again, it's a part of yourself that you're really not owning. So then you create a pattern, and what'll happen is you end up bringing that back to you from the outside in again. So you'll experience it again until you learn how to shift it. And so you're getting a leg up on it all, so you know how to shift it. You don't have to have it come up in your face again outside of yourself. And it'll allow all your relationships to shift and change. All of your relationships get to be a stronger foundation that allows for you to be more peaceful and not competitive. And I don't know what that has to do with anything, but more peaceful and not competitive. So I must have had something to do with something there. So thank you. Thank you, thank you. Okay, so see how this is a little bit different than with Electra and Friends coming in? Yeah. So can I come over here right now?
Please.
All right. You've got Dad, who is covering me in shivers. Is he this side or that side? Other side. Okay, he's covering me in shivers. Is Mom over there with him or here? Other side. So they're both over there. Okay. They are both standing right here. They're standing right with you. They're wanting you. Your dad in particular kind of comes forward in a little. He's like he pushed your mom to the side and just went like this. It showed me. No, I want to talk first. His teachings, that the foundation that he gave you to live from, he's very, very proud of. He wants you to know. He also wants you to know that some of the actions that he took weren't always exactly what worked. He's wanting to acknowledge that he knows that it wasn't exactly what worked, but from his perspective now, and he's sort of got the whole lineage of the man cave behind him, right straight back there. What nationality are you?
Half German,
Okay.
half hillbilly.
Hillbilly. Well, it must be the German that's coming forward, because and that's making my solar plexus squeeze a little bit. It feels very sort of strict, but lovingly strict, like almost like the intention of what was given and what was brought forward had a really wonderful purpose. But now from where he is, the perspective shares with him that it's maybe not useful anymore. So it's the message being brought forward to you that you have the ability and are already doing it to take this foundation, and you're malleable enough that you're bringing it into your heart and you're spitting it out in a different form. So it's more of a confirmation than anything else, and he's wanting to share with you. Pat on the back, wonderful, really proud of you. He says he misses some of the times. He doesn't miss them in his form, but how it's coming forward is that he enjoyed the times that you had together when you feels to be more like in your 20s, so whatever 20s or teenage years or whatever, those times were very joyous for him. So he doesn't miss them, but he's very grateful that he had them. And those are things that when he comes in this form, creates an open heart space for him. Did they pass early on or later on?
The interesting thing is that my dad hasn't passed.
So your dad is still here?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, all the energy and all of the feelings that I feel come from wherever they're here or the other place. So if he hasn't passed yet and he's still here, then these are all messages for you to own and to look at. And whatever is going on with him, if he's traveling back and forth from the other side and interacting with us, how old is he?
87.
Okay. So it's possible that whatever he's doing, he's interacting already with the other side, because it's very clearly talking to the lineage. And the messages for you are extremely important for you to know and for you to own. So I can never tell whether it's here or there, because I hear whatever messages are supposed to be. Do you have any questions?
Not right now.
Do you have dog on the other side?
We've had dogs, but I've not experienced them through the veil at this point.
No, but do you have one that's dead?
Multiple ones, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure which one this is, but it's coming forward because I feel it around my legs, and I always feel dogs around my legs. So whatever that is, and I'm not sure which one it is. I don't know if it's first or last. I don't know. Anyway, dog. Hello.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. You can see how the energy works back with the teaching. Present moment allows for you to literally interact with the energy. Like I'm walking into your energy field and I immediately feel my crown kind of open. I know that when you guys do work on people, you sense and you feel specific things, but there are more ways than what you're already doing. There are more ways that you can expand that will allow you, and that's making my crown hugely womp out. I have like right here, I have a large pressure that's spinning a little bit that wants me to share with you. It's about letting go of a little bit of the expectation, or the, not expectation, the structure, the box of it has to be this way, and open it up a little bit more, because the energy that you're bringing through is going to expand again. And I know I've shared that with you before, but it's another level and it's in a different way. This is a more peaceful, more compassionate, not so emotionally constricted way, if that makes sense for you. And that already, phew. So, yeah. So is your mom on the other side, or is she still here?
She's been gone about 12 years now.
Okay. Funny that your dad is the one that I'm hearing from and not your mom. I mean, your mom is there, but your father wants to just step right in and have a chat with you still. So,
He always spoke.
do you spend a lot of time with him?
No.
Oh, okay.
Annually? Semi-annually?
Semi-annually. Okay. Well, that might be an important piece for you, just to be able to acknowledge. Now I don't remember the things that came through for you, but the sense that I get is that it was sort of memorabilia, sort of things that he would like for you to know if he weren't here anymore. And so it's an invitation to you, is sort of what I feel. It's an invitation for you to take advantage of the times and the opportunities that you do have to share with him, and make good use of them. Like maybe appreciate him in a way that you haven't appreciated him before, get to know him in a way you haven't gotten to know him before, or let him get to know you in a way that he hasn't gotten to know you before. So it's a big communication with more of an open heart and without an expectation for his approval. Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
Thank you.
So there you go. Now I think we're done with that.
I understood it.
Okay, well I'm just going to come right down the line now that I'm actually, can I share with you?
Sure.
As well? Yeah? Is that all right? I was going to say I'm going to come right down the line, and I was like, Yeah, so I want to like pick this up and I want to hold this and I want to share this with you. I don't know who this is, but covered in shivers. You have something going on in your life that's creating a little bit of a tug of war in your heart, and it would be to your advantage to get to know you before you get to know another, is the message that wants to come forward. And covering me in shivers. Covering me in shivers is so important. So important for you to really, really get to know you. And so it's almost like you're giving yourself a rose. You're appreciating yourself. You're taking the time to get to know who you are, what would serve your highest good, and not jump into something that might not. And so whatever circumstances are going on right now in your personal life, I would stand back just a little bit and take a magnifying glass to yourself first and then to the circumstances and choose really wisely. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. It's really important too.
Hold on to this.
Yeah. No.
Well, it's just the whole thing's funny that you said that because that's exactly what I was telling myself the last week. But
Well,
it's easier to say it than to do it.
it's a confirmation and it's an invitation and it's a reminder to you that no matter how, because you said it's easier to say it than do it, tell yourself a different story and remember that it's just as easy to do it as it is to say it. And all that is you give yourself a different visual, right? It's easy to take a step forward. It's easy to take another step forward. So instead of looking at it in, oh my God, how am I going to do this? Break it down into little steps and take care of yourself. You have to take care of yourself. So important. And I'm not sure who this is that's coming through. If it's just your higher self, it feels a bit more than that. Almost feels like, yeah, I don't know. It's family. And it might even be higher self of somebody that's still here because mom energy feels like it's here too. So what is your relationship like with your mom?
Good.
Good. So talk to her.
She tells me what you're telling me right now.
Okay. Well, so talk to her. Yeah. Yeah. So, well, that's why that message came through. That's why, listen to your mom. Yeah. So, yeah, talk to her, but don't talk to her how you used to talk to her. You're at a place where you're transitioning from being the little girl who feels like she's being told what to do versus the adult who has a friend that she can share with and feel grateful that there's support there. And so that's why you gave the rose to yourself. It's like, no one's telling me what to do. I'm smart enough and wise enough to know that this is important for me. And thank God I have somebody who can support me on this and she'll tell me the truth. So really, really important. And I'm so excited for you because you get this piece and all of a sudden everything shifts in a way that you wouldn't expect. And I don't know what that looks like. I just know that you get that piece and all of a sudden it's like, whew, there's peace that comes to you because you're not looking for it outside of yourself anymore. And you're not looking at what you think is beneficial, but really inside of yourself, you're like, not so much. Yeah. So.
Agreed to all
Yeah.
of that.
Yes. And now it's a cuss message that wants to come through, but somebody's here saying that they just want you to kick ass. So there you go.
Definitely my mother.
Oh, well, there you go. That's funny. So, well, there you go. Okay. Okay, and I'm going to come back over here. I think I'm going to go in order, but maybe not.
Choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm not now. I shouldn't have said I'm going in order because then they're just going to take me out of order. So I'm just going to come right over here to Valerie. Are your do you have like an uncle or like an uncle on the other side or are all your family members here? Yeah, I caught you in a bite.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I do have an uncle on the other side. I have, 4 aunts on the other 5.
Well, this would be an uncle.
Okay.
For sure. It feels masculine energy. It doesn't feel like a father energy. It feels like an uncle, but an uncle that you had a connection with somehow, or that there was something unique in what he brought to the table as far as your family and how you behave.
I have no clue on that one.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Well, me either, but I'll just keep sharing
Yeah.
the impressions that I'm getting. So he actually looks like a sort of like a crazy scientist. The images that I'm getting, and just listen to them because then whatever unfolds, it'll fit back in. It looks like a Einstein, sort of like an Einstein hair thing, and very intelligent. and I'm really not sure where this is going. I'm just going to keep sharing. Very, very intelligent person. Didn't love as much as he wanted to love while he was here. And is coming forward to share with you some of the wisdom that he learned from the other side. And so this could be even a different lifetime, is the sense I'm getting right now, which is so funny because I got that message the other day. I was thinking randomly and I'm guided now to share the story with you. When I'm driving along, I'll get pieces, and something floated in about how sometimes things that are given seem to be inaccurate in the moment, but it's because it's actually from a different dimension or a different lifetime. And I remember thinking, oh, that's really cool, because they have a bearing on what's going on, but some people might completely mistake it as not valid because it doesn't have anything to do with what the person can remember. But really what it has more to do with are the emotions or the feelings or the sense of things that are going on in your life right now, and the things that you're learning how to accept and overcome and be a part of. Because it's really not about accepting as much as it is be a part of and own the parts of yourself so that you become one with all the parts of yourself. And even talking about this, my solar plexus is squeezing a little bit. The energy feels like it's skipping from my head down into my solar plexus, and it's sort of going around the heart. So whatever the messages are that are coming are for you to connect the two of those and have it be coming forth through your heart. And it's more about acceptance of yourself. And it also feels as though it has to do with your masculine energy. And I'm not sure why it's being presented as uncle, but that has a bearing on something, because it's not close like a father. It's a little bit distant like an uncle. So it's really not about the uncle per se as much as it is about the proximity of the energy and how it affects your life. And in the proximity of the energy, if you're able to bring it in a little bit more and own it and start to interact with it, you automatically begin to embrace some of the parts of yourself, and more of your creativity will flow out in a more fluid manner rather than numbers coming out of your mouth. Does that make sense? Yeah. So it has to do somehow with connecting all of this that's going on up here, because it's highly intellectual, and then it kind of womps out and comes down through the solar plexus. And what's going to begin to happen, instead of that process happening and it having to come all the way back up through the heart, it's going to start integrating. So it's like the kundalini and the hourglass is,
Right.
You're literally accelerating your kundalini in such a way that it comes through all of your chakras, and it allows the energy of your heart to flow evenly through everywhere, instead of being very overly here or very overly here or very overly here. It also allows parts of yourself to be activated that you didn't even know existed. So it actually seems quite fun.
Do you know how far back the uncle was?
Well, what comes when I'm thinking about it is 3 to 4 generations. But I don't know if that equates. And I'm not sure now that it's an actual, but no, it is. It's like an actual uncle. So I don't know what all that is.
Mother's side, father's side?
Father's side. So I don't know what all that is. Yeah, it's like generational skipping, looping, jumping, sort of.
Oh, that makes sense in a weird way.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, in a very
Yeah.
weird way. I wouldn't have.
Yeah.
Oh, that's significant. Jumping, hopping.
Mm-hmm.
Is it generational? Like it skipped a generation, or is it just
It's like the energy traveling, somehow when we're talking about that piece, the Einstein piece comes back in, because it's the intellectual side. There were symbols being given for something that was activating something going on in you. So it's the intellectual part of things that also integrates with the heart energy and allows for source to come through in a different way for you, or source to come through actually in an original way, rather than a convoluted way.
Oh, you mean a little more straightforward?
More straightforward and more from source,
Oh.
rather than traveling through all the emotions and traveling through all the stories and traveling through all of the things that might have happened through the jumping and the looping and the spinning.
Gotcha.
It's able to come forth through a more straightforward path through your heart and whatever all of that was. I would love to hear that. I'm going to go back and listen to that because I don't even know where any of that came from, and I don't remember a darn word I said.
My
So,
notes are a little screwed.
yeah. So, whatever all that is you have you've been here for a very, very, very long time, and you've interacted with so many different archetypes, and you've been so many different archetypes that the wealth of knowledge and the wealth of experience that you have to choose from out of your tool bucket almost is overwhelming to you sometimes, to where you're not sure which thing to grab.
Yeah.
So that goes back to the message of, as you allow for these energies to integrate, it becomes more clear to you and not convoluted of how to interact in the present moment, because that's what all of it is, coming back into the present moment for a purpose right now. And it allows for a lot of the denser energy to just fall away. Almost like the costumes for every role that you played just get to fall away. Like if you're standing here, there's just like layers of costumes that drop off onto the floor, and your source, your beauty and your divinity, without having all of that nonsense clogging it. Does it make sense? Do
Yeah.
you have any questions?
Masks included.
Yes, those included. Masks get to come off too. And with the masks goes the judgment, which is a huge piece for you, is the judgment. It doesn't, of self, because you are way, way accepting and loving and caring of everybody else. Well, almost, is what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
Well, almost. There are a few that you're like not, but that's actually coming back to the judgment of yourself. And so when you stop judging yourself for whatever that is, the judgment of others falls away too. And that's when you're clear, and that's when you're present, and that's when you're accessing the now moment, and that's where Source exists. It does not exist in the duality of things. And none of us are needing to exist in duality anymore. We live in it, but we don't have to be it. Yay for us.
Hallelujah.
Yay. Yeah. And now I'm getting a visual of somebody doing this, like holding their arms up. Yay, you won. Yeah. so there you go.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, now I'm coming back over here to you.
Okay.
Okay. No, I want one. Okay, so grandchildren are a very significant part of your life, in a way that you're able to actually feel childlike, and more so childlike than you do in your adult life. And it's an opening for you to be able to remember to bring that childlike attitude into your daily life. You're actually being asked to play. And now I'm being shown an impression of like a swing set, and you swinging on the swing set and playing without that sort of, well, I have to do this and I have to do that and I need to do this, and no, I can't do that now because I have to go do this, and no, it's really important I go do this, so I'm not going to be able to do that. And really now what I'm being shown is you, I'm clearing a little bit, sitting in the sandbox throwing sand. So you're actually being asked to do some things that you wouldn't do, to literally purposely take inventory of where you go, what you do, how you do it, and purposely change it in a fun way. And he can hold you accountable for it. Like in a fun way. And make it a game. Even if you just try it for a week and see what it feels like to you and what you experience. But I've never been told that to anybody before. That's so fun. I want to do that. Can I do that too? Anyway, yeah, that's really, really interesting. And they're actually giving you homework. They're giving you an invitation to actually do that, to
Have fun.
take inventory of your life and how you're doing things. Make a list of the new ways that you're going to do things, or the things that you're going to put on hold for a day or so to go do a fun thing instead. It's really to be more playful and less serious. Not that you're not supposed to shun your responsibilities or anything, with your clients, but do it in a way that instead of you just walking around thinking, oh, I have to go do this, I have to go do that, that even on your way to work, if there's something fun that you want to stop and do, even if it's looking at for instance, we were chatting about the snow. I'll use myself as an example here. Multiple times last week on my way to work, I pulled off the side of the road and pulled my camera out, and I'm wandering around in the snow taking pictures. And I didn't care if I was 15 minutes late to work, and I didn't care what was happening because I wanted to enjoy the moment, and the snow was gorgeous. And then I shared it on Facebook. So even a fun thing like that. But it's more than that for you because it's really about playing. Do you like to dance?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I do Zumba.
Zumba. There you go. Well, this is different than Zumba, but it's like dancing in the rain, just childlike, fun stuff. Really, really, really. And now they're asking me to ask you for an example of like what might it look like if you do that. So they're wanting a commitment. Can you think of a fun thing that you might do?
Travel
Yeah, two.
to the beach.
Okay.
Throw sand.
So that's a big thing. So that's like a big thing. So do you have a beach vacation planned?
We could very easily because Bob's dad lives in Florida.
I got to
So
go
we
see
go
him
to-
more now.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Oh, well, that's coming together very nicely, isn't it? We've got your dad you have to go see, and she wants a beach vacation, and there you go, hand in hand. So when are you planning the beach vacation?
Oh, maybe between Memorial Day weekend.
Okay, perfect. So in between now and then, in your daily life, how could you have more fun while you're waiting to go to the beach? How could you interject some fun things in between your monotony? This is a word that wants to come.
Adventure.
And what does it look like?
We're having an adventure on Saturday
What is it?
to go to Ashtabula.
Oh, fun! I
is deep.
have a whole bunch of family that lives in Ashtabula, so say hi to them for me when you go.
Okay.
Yeah, fun. So, and if you're driving to Ashtabula, what would be a fun thing you could do instead of just driving there?
Let her drive.
Take back roads, interesting scenery.
You could stop off and go somewhere, maybe. Maybe there's a place in between there and here that would be fun to stop and.
A mall.
Oh, mall. Nice.
Have fun.
Yeah, or a restaurant or a cafe or like do a little really make the effort to do it. Get online and see what's in between here in Ashtabula and make a plan to stop at someplace different than what you would just normally do. I really was guided to share with you an actual experience of what is being talked about. It's literally doing it different than you normally would. If you would normally just get in the car and you would drive and you'd both put your seatbelts on and you would do this or do that, do it differently. Purposely do it differently. Listen to loud music, or I don't know. Stop at a restaurant and do this or that. Wear something silly. I don't know. Something different.
We're nothing.
Yes.
I have no idea why, but I see them at a park or at a pull-off on the freeway blowing bubbles.
Nice. There you go. That's a good example. Or I was, where I went with that. I went pulled off to the side making out. Then there's that. That would be fun.
So maybe the bubbles I've seen are champagne.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. So whatever it is, it like I don't care how many times I say it. That's the message for you. It's a very, very large message. Have more fun. Do things differently than you normally would, and commit to doing it, and see what you feel like while you're doing it. See what emotions come up, because when you're structured in the way that you need to do things, when you're structured in thinking that it has to be this way and not that way, you're in a comfort zone and your emotions are kind of not activated. So actually, back to your champagne bubbles, it's like popping the cork and letting your energy fizz and have fun. So now you're both accountable for each other. What?
Maybe if you have another moment to elaborate a little bit. We're going to Ashtabula to see a friend acquaintance from Columbus.
Yep.
Whose life has gotten into some significant turmoil.
Yep.
She's currently, I would say, one stage from homeless.
Yep.
She's got like 6 friends she stops at on different nights.
Yeah.
She's messed up her job. She's messed up her life. She's messed up her emotions.
Mm-hmm.
husband and her have split now. She only has the kids some of the time because of the problems that she's having.
Mm-hmm.
We're going up there to give her some counsel, some energy work,
Mm-hmm.
take her out to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody we haven't seen her in 6 months probably. So
Okay, so
what would the other side say about helping us on how to handle this?
well, they've got all sorts of a plethora of information to share. Would you like to hear? First of all, the story that you told was a story. So what I'm going to do is take the eraser and erase the whole chalkboard of she messed up this, she messed up that, she messed up this. I'm erasing all of that. How do you know she did?
She told me.
But how do you know she did? So a response back to her would be, well, this is what's going on now. Maybe there are many different reasons and many things that came into play to creating this situation. How are we going to move forward from it with solutions, but disallowing her from saying she messed up or she screwed up? Because all that is taking her more down in the same sort of direction that she's been going in, the spin that she's in. And really all that is a very extreme way for her to see that she can love herself more, she can make changes. I would imagine she has had all sorts of emotional stuff that came up that got stuffed for a very, very long time. And so by you guys going there, it's a gift. And by you bringing it up, it's a gift. Because if you go there with a more playful attitude, and it's going to loop all the way back into the messages, if you go there with a more playful attitude, a lighter-hearted attitude, a more clear attitude without the judgment, whether she said it or not, you repeated it very clearly, which we all can do. So if you look at it in a way that you remember, well, what if it's the exact opposite of that? What if really what happened was just a way for her to find herself, to make changes? It's all going to work out in a way that will afford her the opportunity to move forward in a more peaceful way, in a more effective way. And all that happened was a scab got torn off and all the pus came up to the surface. It's all being cleaned out. You can be a part of her using hydrogen peroxide and neosporin on cleaning out the wound that was clearly there, or none of that stuff would have happened. That's covering me in shivers. So you're going to not only be there for her, but you're also going to be there for you guys, because judgment of where somebody is and even agreeing with their judgment of themselves to where they are is a really perfect opportunity for you guys to say, you know, not so much, that's a story you're telling, but what if it's really, it's, you know, it's all has come to here. It's not something maybe that you want to repeat, but there were, I'm sure, benefits to it, and there are benefits to it, and let's work on what the solutions are. That puts you in a place of clarity, of open-heartedness, of really embodying the new energy of the present moment. And the energy of the present moment has no judgment whatsoever. It's just clear. It just is what it is. And there were disadvantages and there were advantages, and there were advantages and there were disadvantages. So it's all equal, which when it's equal or balanced, it brings you up here and you transcend out of duality, and then you get to be the bridge to assist her through a time that's uncomfortable, which many of us have gone through uncomfortable times of one way or another. So you help her figure out a path, a solution, and you give her love that lets her know how special she really is. And just because she's got these things going on in her physical world doesn't mean that she's screwed up, messed up, or effed up, is really the word that wants to come out there. Because there's people that are judging her. Her family, her husband, ex-husband, even her kids. And that's not supportive. That's not helping her to see that she's beautiful. But this isn't working, so let's figure out, you know. So the energy that you're going to be running for her is really the new energy if you can embody that. And you can, I know you can. And that's more about the playfulness as well, right? So if you're very playful on your way up there and you're not thinking, well, geez, we're going up there for this, and how do you do that? You know, instead, what would be a new story based on what I just said? If you were going to tell me what you were doing on Saturday, what would you say in a more clear, playful?
On the way up, we would basically do things to spin and rise and join our energies together to the greaterness,
Yeah.
so that we were at a high vibrational rate to assist this person to draw her up when we arrive.
Right. And how would you do that? Because you know that enjoyment is enjoyment, right? You can't just say, well, I'm going to enjoy something. If you're going to be the energy of enjoyment, you would do something that was enjoyable, whether it's blowing bubbles or making out or stopping for coffee or stopping at the mall or whatever. You would do something that was enjoyable and create a new, more fun playfulness, which I would imagine, because we're spending so much time on this piece, that a lot of the messages that came have to do with that as well, along with the trip down to your dad, which feels like a driving trip, not a flying trip. Because there's places to stop on the way, and that's a huge energy trail from here to there. So yes, embodying that energy and then sharing it. But if you were going to tell me the story of where you were going Saturday, not how you were going to do it, how would you tell me the story differently rather than the mess? What would the story be?
Heading off with my wife to energetically join with a friend that we haven't seen in some time to make it a greater day for all three of us.
Yay!
Where'd that come from?
In your heart, because I can see your eyes well up, and I know you and your energy well enough to know that when you get to that place, that's exactly what happens. You have spirit tears. So good for you. That's awesome. Yay! And you know what? Every single time somebody chooses to do something like that, it infuses the present moment energy here onto Mother Earth, puts it into the vibration, puts it into the ocean of energy that we live in. And it's so far reaching because it's so high vibrational. It just whoosh. Yay. Thank you. Thank you.
Feel it all the way over
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
Welling and chill.
Yes, and me too. I've got waves of them. It is wonderful. And that's, you know what? It's so easy. Do you guys see how easy it is just to change the story? We all tell these stories. I still do it. I will catch myself telling a story and I'm like, that's a story. Change that story. You know? And some things we're observing of what we're doing. So it's kind of a story, but it's kind of not. But in the end, it's still a story because we're observing ourselves through our behaviors, thoughts, words, behaviors, feelings, and actions based on a story we've priorly told. We tell a story or we experience a story and then we live out that role. But as soon as you start to observe what you're saying, how you're saying it, and how it feels, you can change it and then you're not playing that role anymore. And victim role is completely different than clarity in the present moment. The present moment space is a completely different energy. It's got a different script. Thoughts, words, behaviors, feelings, and actions are all different in the clarity spot. Some of us have the concepts of clarity, and we've even begun to be clear, but not in all forms. And so you know what clarity is. I know you do. But you just saw a part of you that still had a judgment pop up, which is the beauty of it because we all have it. There isn't a person on this earth that does not experience that at some point in time every day or through the week or whatever. And the beauty of it is if you identify it and go, ooh, that's a piece of victim still in there or judgment. And then you go, okay, how would I say this different? Look, I get that's the old pattern you're used to that and that's what you used to think. But this is what I know to be true now, so let's reframe that. Cancel, cancel, cancel. Reframe that. Because what you're putting out there is going into the ocean of energy. That's part of being present. Be really conscious of the stories you're telling. Be really conscious of the stories you're telling. And be conscious of the stories that other people are telling because it can assist you in retelling yours. Like I listen to other people's stories all the time. And it is definitely not my place to go flap my gums at them. If I don't know them, it's not my place. However, if I'm in the space of the conversation, I will very quickly and efficiently reframe that story because it's in my energy field and I don't care what another person thinks about me in that way, but I do care about the work I'm doing. And so if somebody's putting a story out there, I'll just politely reframe it in another sentence. And it shifts the energy instantly. And if it's somebody that I don't know, then I'll say it in my head or I'll say it out of my mouth so they can't hear it. But I will put the new energy on it. I feel so passionate about this because it's so interesting to observe them. And I'm still waking up. We're all still waking up, but I'm more awakened now than I was even last year. And so I'm noticing more things. The more awake you are, the more you notice things. The more you notice things, and I notice things more with myself as well. The more you notice things, the more change you can make, the more opportunity to shift it. If you're paying attention and you're being aware, every single time you're being aware, you have another opportunity to shift it. And the more you shift it, the more clarity comes, and the more opportunity for more people to be clear come. So, for instance, a really good example is if you walk into a space that has had an argument occur, you can feel the energy of that space and the argument that occurred. Well, if I walk into that space and I feel the energy and I stand there and I just infuse it with love, and that might look like me thinking to myself, something must have occurred here that was less than supportive of love, or was less than supportive of the people, was less than enhancing. And so what I'm going to do is say that all things that are here are supportive and enhanced. All things that are here are loved and embraced, and those things that no longer serve can be on their way. And it shifts. Or I could just stand there in it and just be love, and it shifts. Or I could breathe rose petals onto it, and it shifts. Or I could sit down in the middle of it and pretend I'm in Hawaii on the beach watching the whales, and it shifts. There's so many different ways that you can do it, and there are so many different languages you can speak. You can use your words, you can use your thoughts, you can use your imagination, you can use whatever you want, and it shifts. But you have to do it to make it shift. You have to be it, not just do it. Some of the being is doing, but in the end, it's being, just being. Being love, when you get into the habit of being love, you walk into a space and the love is there. I know you guys have all experienced it. I don't know if, I would imagine everybody has. Have you ever walked into a grocery store, for example, or into a store and you interact with the person who's at the desk or the cashier or whatever, and they look at you and say, I just feel so much better now. Yeah, what's that?
I said, are you asking if that's ever happened?
Yeah. Have you ever had that experience? Yeah, all the time, right? Yeah, because people can sense and they can feel what it is that you're putting out there. Just like we can feel if a negative Nelly walks into the room and it's like, oh, why, for what reason? And then usually you can shift that, typically, not always, but not even by acknowledging what they're doing and saying, and just come up with a silly thing to say and they'll laugh. And it's gone. So, okay, I'm coming back here. Your mom is doing really, really well. Your mom has the benefit and the ability to do exactly what she wants to do when she wants to do it. And she is in the process of choosing not going when she's being told. How cool is that?
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So she's got a lot working with her from the other side. And she's also still working with a lot on this side. And so whatever is going on is to your credit. This is why the information is coming through. The space that you're creating for her is creating a blueprint or an archetype. Archetype's not quite right, and blueprint's not quite right either, so I'm not sure what the word would be, but it's something similar to like an archetype or a blueprint where people are loved and supported and don't feel like they're victimized in their death. Don't feel like the medical system is sending them on their way. Your mom has been provided a gift of space to be, and she will absolutely choose when it's her time to go. Yeah, and she doesn't even understand it all. It's more coming from her higher self, but whatever energy that you're providing and the bubble that you're creating there in her space is an actual pattern. But it's not a blueprint, but it's close to that. It's like an archetype blueprint sort of thing that creates the ability for that to happen again.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
Does anybody know what that word would be called?
I'm thinking imprint.
Imprint. There we go. That's it. That covered me in shivers. Thank you. Yeah. It's imprinting that energy so that it can be felt and experienced and brought forward again, like a holograph.
Great.
Yeah, so thank you. That's kudos back to you. You also have master teacher, master guide. I'm not sure if he's a master teacher or guide. Maybe he's both. He's both. He's a master teacher guide who works with you. He's got a hat on, kind of like a one of those poofy art hat things,
Okay.
a tam or something. And he works with you on a daily basis. He says that he's not having anything to do with your relationship stuff. He's there to work with your spiritual stuff, the energy that you bring through. But he also helps to coalesce that in with your relationship stuff, because I don't know if you've noticed or not, but what is being shared is that you're integrating the things that you do metaphysically and spiritually, you're integrating it into your daily life more fluidly, more frequently, and more effectively. So it's a pat on your back for you. He's reminding you to pat on your back for that. And it will allow for you to make more effective choices where you're more comfortable. So you don't get that like, ooh, I don't want to say that, or that little squeeze. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So yay.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yes.
That's really cool about your mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt good about that for a while with, once again, your help.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yay. So career for you. Career allows you a place to be who you truly are. And my heart's opening as I'm sharing this, because you contribute at your work more than what you work. Like, you're there doing your job, and I don't know if you realize it or not, but you contribute in a way that's very, very assisting and heartfelt and compassionate, even though it comes forward in a professional way. The assistance that you give just by being who you are to the, well, comrades is the word that wants to come forward. I'm not sure why, but it's very useful, very beneficial, and is making a difference in their lives. I almost get the sense that it's sort of like a family. Wherever you work seems to be like a family. So when they come to work, it's like they're family away from family, and it provides solace for them, whatever relationship you have with them and whatever it is that you do. Do you have a boss that's above you, or are you the boss?
I have a boss above me.
Yeah, okay. So whoever the boss is above you, that feels a little weird is the word that wants to come, but I'm not sure how. So whatever that is for you to interact with maybe in a little bit different way, or maybe for you just to look at your own space in relationship to it. I don't know what's going on with that. It just doesn't feel completely in alignment, I guess is the best way for me to say that. It actually makes my solar plexus squeeze a little bit. So maybe there's something that you can do within you to interact with it without interacting with that. It feels like a him directly. So I don't know what that is. But the people that are around you, that you interact with on a daily basis, it's a really huge piece. And you're actually somehow balancing the energy of whoever this person is over here, up here. He feels like he's up here because I think he thinks that, but he's really not. That's more of what it feels like, and that's covering me in shivers. Like, he's got his ego's a little bit, he's a little big for his britches, is the sense that wants to come. And you do a really great job of balancing that energy and honoring him without enabling him. And so it's a thank you coming forward for that. Whatever you guys do within your relationship is very, very, this is just the energy that I want to, it's very fluid and beautiful and fun, and also expansive. It's growing right now, kind of like the lotus flower. Maybe the lotus flower was like here, and now there's petals that are laying completely flat out onto the water within your heart connection, within your heart space. But not just your heart space, also your actual human space. You know, so it's like the heart space is where we connect to our source to to our divinity. And your human space is being infused with that. So your humanness is getting to shift and change as your heart opens. And it's just very, very beautiful coalescing. And it's not even just, it's like if you, what I'm being shown is if you could see your heart energy kind of figurating out to hers is at the same time figurating out. And so it's like this beautiful harmonic convergence in a very beautiful way. It's that orchestration is what it feels like. And very artistic, very creative, but also very grounded intellectually. So you're imprinting really cool things too. So thank you. Do you guys have animals, critters? No? Never have? Huh. Wonder what that is. Yeah, well, maybe that's what I'm picking up on. Yeah.
Any in particular?
Well, cats come to mind, so yeah. Yeah.
Cats, really?
Yeah.
Anything about wild
So,
animals?
well, when you say wild animals, squirrels come to mind. So, yeah. So I don't know. Maybe there's a kitty cat wandering around your yard or something. I don't know.
Yeah, there is actually.
Everything wanders around our yard.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Possums, raccoons,
Yeah.
squirrels.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the squirrels have fun.
yeah.
It's like
They-
their
they look-
playground.
Yeah, they look good.
Yeah. So anyway, thank you for what you're doing. Your energy is very, very unique, in a very beautiful way. Very calm and peaceful, but also very intellectual and open. You're definitely very open to getting to know other people. That's the sense. You're open to getting to know other people. You know, not like open to wanting to be them, but you're open to getting to know them, which is why it works so well where you're working. And you really are, they're wanting me to share this again, balancing whatever this person's energy is. And that's a big important thing. And there may be stuff coming that will let you see why that's important. Not in any yucky way or anything, just I feel like you'll get a sense of, oh, okay, I see why that was important, sort of thing. So thank you.
Good, thank
Yeah, thank you. Okay. Oh, and also I don't know what your relationship is with your dad or if he's here or there, but dad relationship is coming in as I want to do this. Like I want to hold on to it. There's a lot of love there and compassion. If there's something that you haven't said, say it. Even if he's on the other side. I don't know where he is, but if there's something you haven't said, say it. And it's important. Yeah. So, okay, cool. So who have I not? You. No, I did. You. John. And
my turn.
Oh, yay! Yay, so patient. Okay, well, I'm going to have a seat for a second with you. Okay.
Have some water, make yourself.
Yes, exactly. There you go. So, I don't need to tip the table over. And then I have to go to Deb if she comes back. Relationship-wise, are you in a relationship right now? Kind of. Okay, because that's the first thing that wants to come is the relationship. When I talk about it, this part right here of my head sort of like
Yeah.
clenches,
Doesn't
like
it, though?
clenches just a little bit. Yeah, like, you know?
No, not yet.
Yeah. And so really what the invitation is for you to, and this is makes my, wow, your body's going all sorts of wild here. It makes my throat chakra kind of squeeze a little bit. So yes, it's like the communication piece for you. And but what that is you really, really learning to get into communication with you and who you are and where you are. You've already seen the things that you really enjoy. It feels like there are a couple of walls there that you've put into place just to kind of, that's a cute visual. I'm being shown a wall with a little girl kind of peeking up over it going, I don't know, and then kind of going back like this. So yeah, so take the walls down. You don't need them. You're a big girl. Put your big girl panties on and let your communication be the beauty of it rather than the wall to hide behind. Like the lack of communication is what creates the wall, and your mind is running more than your heart is opening. And really what it's an opportunity for is your heart to open for yourself. Whether it works or doesn't work doesn't matter.
True.
That's the piece, yeah. And that's the piece.
Yeah.
So it's really just you being comfortable. You're learning to be comfortable in your own skin with whatever comes And being, furthermore, and this is a huge piece for you, I'm being shown this, just for you to feel just as comfortable looking at this person, and if this were to ever be the case, and say, you know, it's just not working for me. Just as much as for you to say, you know,
Yeah.
this is awesome. So in other words, it doesn't matter
Right.
which thing. Your job in all of this is to get comfortable with any of it, all of it. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be shunned if it's not. You're not going to be, you know, praised if it is. It's just is what it is.
Right.
And for you to just get really comfortable with no walls, and you get, you know, 360-degree radius of viewing. And how cool is that?
It's
Because
pretty cool.
yeah, because then you get
Loving every minute.
yeah, 360-degree radius of choice as well. For really the qualities that enhance you as an individual, rather than the things that you think are a connection that possibly aren't.
Right.
Yeah, so the communication is huge, the walls coming down is huge, and this relationship is a huge growth thing for you.
I feel that.
Yeah,
And it's working that way really well.
yeah, yeah. Relationship with your father is coming in here, and it's directly connected to this relationship. Is he on the other side?
Yes.
Okay, because he's covering me in shivers, and my solar plexus squeezes just a little as he came forward. So I'm not sure what the relationship was like with him, but the ability to allow for those, not memories. Memories is not the appropriate term, but experiences. The experiences you had with him that you might, in this moment, and even though you've started working on them, look upon them as, wish I wouldn't have had that, or wish I would have had this, you know, sort of the shoulda, coulda, woulda thing with the relationship with your dad. Tell a different story, find what the benefits were within them, find what the disadvantages were, which those you already probably know. So it's really more about finding the benefits, the people you met, the things that you searched out because of, the strength that you gained from it, the whatever. Whatever it is, there's plenty of things that you can look at that were benefits of whatever those things were, and that will also assist you in the relationship that you're having now.
Okay, I'll work with that.
Yeah, and it's sort of a triangulation because it has to do with the father-daughter relationship and then the daughter intimate relationship that is always connected. And that's making my crown open, so I know you're integrating it as we're talking about it. Yeah. Yeah,
So
hugely
can we talk
important.
about something? I have
No. I'm teasing you.
I have a very dear friend.
Uh-huh.
I'm not going to give you any more than that. I'm
Okay.
not going to share with
Okay.
you her story.
Okay.
You let me know how she's
Well, her
doing.
story is a story, and she's doing fine. Some people may think that she's not, but she is. And the story can be dropped. That's for her, your biggest gift that you can give to her is not to buy into her story or anybody else's story about her.
it.
Yeah. There are tons of people who have a story about this, whatever's going on, and some of it's different spins, and everybody thinks they know what's best.
course.
And it's really important for you, it's making my crown hugely have pressure again. So you're immediately getting, it's going, integrating all the way through. Your greatest gift to her is not to,
Add to her story.
Right. As a matter of fact, what you can do is help her consciously, quickly, to tell a new story.
Okay.
Tell a new story. That's the huge message for that. Put a stamp right on it. We're telling a new story. That's the old story. Done. Off. Crumple it up, throw it in the trash. We're writing a new story. And make her do it. You can give her some ideas, but make her do it. And don't let her wallow in it. It's like she feels like she's wallowing in everybody's story.
Wallow might not be a great word. I think experiencing everyone else's take on it.
Well, the impression that I'm getting is that she's in a mud puddle and kind of going like this. So to me,
agree with
that
that.
description would be wallowing,
Yeah.
but she won't be if you shift the story. If you identify clearly where she is and you help her to get out of there, what would you, just as an example, if you were physically in a mud puddle going like this, what would you have to do to come clear of that?
I'd immediately want to wrestle, but roll.
Yeah. Or you could ask for help and somebody could get you out. And you'd have to take a shower and you'd have to do this, you have to do that, you have to get some new clothes. There's all sorts of things you'd have to do, right? So whatever it is that's necessary, it has to come back to the physical world. The energetic thing that she's got going on has got her spun a little.
Oh, yeah.
So you bring her out of the energy by bringing her back into the physical, back into the body, and you start focusing on the physical things that you can do to help her out of the energy place that she's in. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah.
So not only do you have to tell the new story, you actually have to take actions in the physical world that will give her a different experience than the role that she's playing now.
I'll work on that.
Yeah. Yeah, it'll be great. Does she have family? Or are you like her family? Massive? But you're more like her family than her family, it feels like. As far as
I'm her
supportive.
spiritual guide.
Right. As far as supportive. Yeah, because they're all spinning.
Oh, my.
Yeah. But she can be the point of power to end the spin. Like if she's in, you know, when you get into the point, the center of the hurricane or whatever, it's calm there. So if you can stand with her.
Like she's moved there. It feels to me as if she's gotten in that calm.
Mm-hmm.
But that's her role. That's her costume and mask, is to be the calm,
Mm-hmm.
which may have gotten her where she is. That's my concern about her.
Well, if you get with her in where she is, in the calm, and you get her talking, and you find out what her story is, you have to find out what someone's
Right.
story is before you can work with their story, right?
Yeah.
So you have to know where she is. So get her talking.
Okay.
Find out where she is. And as you discover where she is, you can help her change where she is. Exactly. Yeah. But you have to know where she is first. And that's a huge important piece for you because you can do that work with yourself. It's not useful to put a happy stamp on something. There are lots and lots of people who want to say, oh, you just have to think positive and it'll all go away.
No, I
And
don't
that's
believe that at all.
bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Yeah. You have to let yourself experience where you are, not wallow in it, discover it, and go, this isn't serving me anymore. What are the steps that I need to take to move beyond it? And when you can do that, you create peace without a happy stamp. There are so many people who want to deny the emotion.
She tried the happy stamp. It was a disaster, an absolute disaster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So just without expectation, that's the other piece. Let go of the expectation for you. You're not fixing her. You're not changing her. You just want to get to know where she is and then help her to learn how to talk differently if she wants to learn how to be differently if she wants to. If she doesn't want to,
That's fine. I've told her that since the day of the diagnosis.
absolutely. It's just a label.
You can do whatever you want with this. It's yours.
Yeah. It's an outcome of other behaviors. And there are many other things that can
Thank you
occur.
for that. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
That's what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Okay. Sometimes when you're emotionally involved,
Yes.
it's really hard to see through that cloudy, mucky window.
Yes.
Thank you. That's what I needed to hear.
Yeah. So you're getting to know yourself as well, which allows you to bring walls down too.
Right.
Yeah, because it's there's safety nets. You've
Right.
you've constructed, like what I'm being shown right now is like a circus where there's safety nets everywhere. Like, okay, I can go over here because there's a net and I'll be fine, and I can go over, but I'm not going over there because there's no net.
No.
Yeah, and the thing is there's a net everywhere.
Right.
We're safe everywhere. There isn't anything that doesn't have an advantage to it. And furthermore, there's some things that we perceive to just be advantageous that have all sorts of negatives to it, disadvantages. So you're just really learning how to balance everything out and come to a place of peace with whatever's coming your way. Got it?
I do.
Good.
Yay!
Yay. Did Deb come back into the room? You came back into the room. She's hiding? Oh, there she is. Can I come over to you? Okay, good. Yay, yay, yay. So, I don't know why my eye's being drawn to that, but maybe that'll come later. I just want to stare right here at the circle and the flowers, and it reminds me of sacred geometry. It reminds me of what we have going on in our energy being and our energy body, the shifts and changes that you've made already, and I know you personally, so I know some of them in the last 8 months. I don't know when 8 months would take you back to, but changes within the last 8 months have shifted your DNA. your sacred geometry. It's activated things within you that you didn't know you had. It's also opened up possibilities for you to have more things flow in, and you're actually seeing that come. You're also, this is making my crown kind of
Tell me that.
undulate. Yeah, it's my crown is undulating. Your opportunities to really do what make your heart sing in a way that support you as an individual, that's a huge piece for you right now. Huge piece. And again, it's like right there. It's your connection to source, and covering me in shivers. So your connection to source comes in our visualizations, into the crown and down, but really it's coming in through your heart, and you're getting the opportunity to, I went to go like this and then I want to go like this, to get out of your head more frequently and into your heart, so you get out of the thoughts that are coming. You're already doing it, but you can kick it up a couple notches. So be careful that when you're working on a problem solving thing, that you're more here and paying attention to the physical circumstances than you are up here in your, I need to do this, I need to do that, I need to do this. And the right action is really important, but when you kind of, because I'm talking to you, I'm holding my breath. I'm like holding my breath, because what I want to do is go, okay, and slow down all of it. When you slow down, you're paying attention more to here, and it unfolds better.
Gotcha.
And that'll have an impact on your peace within. You'll feel more energized. Even if you only get 2 hours of sleep, you'll feel like you've slept for 8. Just that ability to kind of know that you can warp time. You can expand it, you can shrink it. You have the ability to do it just by your peaceful place that you can go to that's not running around in worry on the mouse wheel, the hamster wheel. Yeah. Dad, I don't remember, but Dad with us still? Yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, very
He's coming in again. He came in last time, I think, yes. Your relationship with your son is somehow directly related to your relationship with your dad.
Yep.
All working really, really succinctly together right now.
Mhm.
You've made huge changes, covering me in shivers, confirmation to you. And you're, again, waves of them. And then it's actually, do you have grandson yet?
Daughters.
Do you-
One on the way might be his grandson. Don't know.
Okay.
I think it is.
Well, yeah, because I'm hearing grandson, and I don't know if it's this baby or not, but at some point it feels like, and I'm getting slammed in shivers.
Mine too.
Yeah, at some point it feels like there's going to be a grandson that is the embodiment of the shift. So in other words, your dad is the foundation. You're the bridge that creates the change within your son. But the grandson, this is alchemizing my nose too. The grandchild is actually it, without bridging anything. It's like he created the foundation, you created the bridge that created a change, and then this thing coming in is brand new. Like, that's it. It's the new energy without having to go through a bridging of creating it.
There it is.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course it takes everybody to do the work, but they're hugely wanting to give blessings to you and thanks to you for doing the work that you did. And they're also wanting to acknowledge that they know it was not easy. There's a lot of work here in the do I know that? In the physical body that sucks. Or that seems to be not fun. And so they're kind of acknowledging that for you, that thank you so much for doing the work. And it was like you gave birth to a new energy.
Thank you.
Yay!
Thank you so much.
Do you have any questions?
No.
Okay.
No. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Can I come over here to you?
Yeah.
What's your name?
Edward.
And is this who I met the other day? Or no, it's a different person?
Different person.
Okay. So you have a lot of ancestral, no, not this side. Yeah, it is this side. Yeah, but it's coming off this way too. You've got this whole line of beings, I just want to say beings, that are right lined up behind you. You are not living up to your full potential yet. You are capable of so much more than what you're doing. I just want you to know that. You are capable of so much more than what you're doing. And you are going to feel that as you take some action to make some choices that will allow you to expand who you know you already are. You know you're smart, you know you're wise, you know you're loving. You know it, even if other people don't know it. And there are lots that know it, but there's just as many who feel like they're wanting to kind of, You stay grounded right here, and they won't even believe what you do. Yeah, you are so capable of doing and fulfilling all of the things that you have, that you dream about, and that you feel like a very imaginative and very, like, you think about, you can visualize yourself doing these things. I'm just getting covered in shivers. And everything that you can visualize, already done. And then it's just a matter of you walking toward it, taking the action steps in physical form that allow you to remember that who you are, that you can do it, and that you're able to do it, and that's already done. And it's almost like you're just walking toward meeting that part. I don't know how to put it into words, but if you're here and the visualizations that you have, it's just coming into alignment with them, really. Really, really, really. And to follow every single one of your instincts. Don't set any one of them on the shelf. Every one of them. Follow every single one of the instincts. Not a one of them is allowed to sit on the shelf. And they're all your gifts and they're all your trophies. Yeah. And I don't know if you have it feels to me, I'll just share with you. It feels to me that there was a grandfather, if you didn't know him, he feels very close to you. It's a grandfather. I'm not really clear whether it's mother's side, father's side. I can't tell. So he's not sharing. But the relationship that he has with you, if you didn't have it with him, he loves you very, very, very much. And it seems like a very significant piece. Kind of feels more like mom's side. Very, very close, and he's covering me in shivers. Loves you very, very much. And he says he can see what you're capable of too. So is he on the other side? Or is he? Yeah, okay. Yeah. So did you, because I'm kind of seeing he and you holding hands when you were a little boy, and you're like walking and holding hands. And it's just a memory that he's bringing back for you. But that to keep that in your heart, and to know that you're always, always, always supported. I'm telling you, typically I feel one side or the other, and I'm going like this, and I'm hearing no. It's like that. It's like whoosh. You have all the support of all of this foundation that's been brought forward from so many people who have come before you, who have worked and worked and worked and worked and worked, and it's like you get to be the. What would the word be, guys? The culmination, but the gift of the work that they've all done. So what would that be? A pinnacle. You're the pinnacle of that. You're the pinnacle of everything that they've done, and you're right there. It's covering the chairs. So thank you. I just want to say thank you. So I don't know what all you're here to do, but you're going to go do everything you want.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
So stay at the Wine Bistro for 6 more months.
Exactly, there you go. Well, you are in very good company being here at the Wine Bistro. So yeah, I would imagine that that's part of the energy that you're infusing and sharing, and yeah, so awesome.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, does anybody have any questions about anything? John, do you want some messages?
Sure.
Okay. Is this drink or not drink?
Not drink.
Okay, I'm parched. Well, yeah. Maybe if I'd shut up, I wouldn't be so parched, right? Okay. So, Ken is here saying, I love you, man. Immediately. Right there. He says you don't eat as many pies as you did before. He's making jokes and laughing, but also wanting you to remember that he's there. And the senses that you're getting, the hits that you think are from him, are from him. you're following the visual I'm getting is kind of like this. Like, it's a path that you would think would be this way, but it's not really. It's like keeps veering off this way, and it's a path that you're going on, but you're allowing yourself to be flexible enough so that if it goes off this way, you know it will come back this way, and maybe even go out this way and come back this way. And so the message, and now he's stepped back, and you have, I don't know who this is. Something that feels to be up here with you. It might even be your higher self energy coming in, but your ability to be flexible in what you do with, and not, you know, you're really good at kind of creating a plan is what I'm hearing. You know, you create the plan, you kind of set the goal, you create the plan of how to get there, and then you do the actions to do it, take the actions to do it. Your ability to be a little bit more flexible with that would be beneficial. And that's kind of how the path was being shown this way. So where you set your plan and you think you're going this way, you're being guided to kind of flow with the ways and go, okay, well, now we're going over this way. Who are we going to meet over here? And then you kind of come back and you cross back through that path and you think, oh, okay, a new piece got added in and it might go over here and come back. And then all of a sudden it goes, and it juts straight ahead. So remember to be a little bit flexible. And he's showing me a lemon meringue pie. Now Ken stepped back in. He's just being funny. Yeah. And wanting you to remember something that occurred where did you go? The last trip? Guatemala. Yeah. He's wanting you to remember something that occurred in Guatemala that was special is not the appropriate word, but significant between the two of you. In other words, it didn't happen with everybody else. It was between the two of you, and he's wanting you to remember whatever that was and apply it and use it in your life.
Okay.
Does it make sense?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. He said it's really important. It's actually making, it's weird. I've never gotten a sense right here. It's making this side of my neck pinch. Like I feel a pinch right here on my left side of my neck. Whatever that is, I don't know. It's also making my back hurt a little bit. Maybe it's Ken just coming a little too close.
Last reading I got from him, he was saying, get off your duff.
Oh.
Everybody need to get off their duff and get moving.
Yeah.
Quit waiting around.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Well, and you're not a person that sits by idly at all. But so if that's what you're remembering from that time frame, then maybe that's to help other people.
I'm putting a mountain trip together that we went on.
Oh, ding,
And
ding, ding.
He's wanting me to.
Oh, yeah,
to get
covered in
started on
shivers.
that, so
That's what it is. It's getting started on the things that you know are significant that would bring forward that energy from him. Yes,
and
that's
our
it.
guide from Guatemala, Julio, is coming up in June. So we're
Got
going
it.
to have him on the trip and everything. So.
Got it. Okay.
I've been having some medical problems with my ears,
Oh.
and I was wondering if there would be a diagnosis,
Mm-mm.
because they haven't found anything. They keep sending me to all these people, and
I don't think they're going to find anything.
never find anything.
Mm-mm. No, I think that if you can even, tell a different story, what the story you're telling now, based on you telling me what you're doing, is there's something wrong with me. I need to go find out what's wrong,
Yeah.
right? So, okay, so that's not working. So, tell a different story. And if you still feel guided to go somewhere, fine, but tell a different story in the meantime. Well, maybe this is an opportunity for me to get into closer contact with other parts of my sensory perceptions, or whatever. Or, oh, maybe I'm giving myself a break for a little bit and I'm getting, I don't know, whatever the story is that you want to come up with, but focus on everything that you're able to hear and focus on the things that would allow for you, what are the benefits of this happening right now? Have you met somebody new? I mean, really literally use the equilibration tool to deal with it, but then also be in the present moment and enjoy what's going on rather than thinking it's taking you out of possibilities of what can occur. Yeah, because if you're focused more so on there's something wrong and you need to go find out what's wrong, you're focused on that you have a problem and you're not able to be in the moment as much as you are. No, yeah, you want to just, tell a different story. It's not to say that you be irresponsible, so to speak. You still take actions that you're guided to take, but tell a different story in the meantime. Kind of like driving to Ashtabula, right? do something fun on the journey rather than think, oh my God, blah, blah, you know, instead of spinning in the thing. Do something fun and become more present, and it'll be different. I mean, what comes to mind is even, and this is a very extreme example, but it's along the same energetic lines. When the doctors wanted to give me the label of having MS, and I bought into it for about 6 weeks and did the injections and all that stuff and felt worse than I did before. And I then said, no. So it's a similar thing. I didn't take that label. I made changes. I was still having what they referred to as symptoms of it, but I was calling it something different. And I was leading my life as though it didn't exist. And I was interacting with it in ways that allowed me to move forward in a different way without a label. So it's that,
Thank you.
that energy.
That's something different to look forward to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Different way of handling it.
Yeah. And that's present moment, right? If you're worrying takes you immediately out of the present moment.
Yeah.
It takes you out of the heart space of the present moment. Worrying is usually based on, well, there's something wrong. And that's usually based on something from the past, a past story from a doctor, a past story from an experience in your life, a teaching that's existing. And we have the ability to say no to all of that stuff. We have the ability to really literally change a story, do something different, make it be something different, tell the opposite of it. Well, what if it's really this and not that at all? What if it's this? And this is what it might be. Or it might be that, or it might be that. The point is there's a bajillion different options than just this is it and that's that.
I could change things myself.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, I will.
That's a novel idea.
I will.
Yes, you will, and you can, and we all can. And that goes back to the teaching, right? Present moment exists now. It exists in our empowerment of now. It exists in our ability to be something different than what we're being told we should be or what we're being told it looks like. I'm a huge example of that because through my life, and I feel it's safe to say that I had these experiences so that I would know this. I can't tell you how many times my kids were given a diagnosis that was completely inaccurate. But the doctor knew for sure it was accurate. Oh yeah, that's what, oh no, it's not. Well, how do you know that? Well, because I know my kid and I know what I'm experiencing, and that's not exactly what's going on. And so, you know, you learn that everything that's here is a story. It's a story. And you can change the story. And we have the ability to have that empowerment. Have the ability to be present, the ability to be from our heart, get into your body, get the energy into your body. It comes in through your heart, it comes in through your crown, it comes in through everywhere. And then make really good use of it and have fun and tell stories. Yay. Thank you.